I hate Mondays. Welcome back to So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. On this episode, we're going to check out the modern post-hardcore band, Fiddlehead. A hardcore supergroup, if you will, comprised of members from Have Heart, Basement, Big Contest, and Nuclear Age. Fiddlehead answers the question, will there ever be a good aging punk band? The answer, luckily, is a resounding yes. With Pat Flynn at the helm, of course this band was going to be good. Mixing in the sounds of their past bands with the contemporary flares of emo and indie rock, Fiddlehead becomes the ultimate post-hardcore outfit. Starting in 2015 with no intentions of continuing past that, the band has since released 3 LPs along with a handful of singles and EPs. Their sound is stupidly accessible to anybody who already has an ear for aggressive music, so don't think that I'm tossing you into the fire here. Actually, I'm going to do my best to help you get into them by suggesting 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that are must listens for any incoming Fiddlehead fans. As per usual, we're going to start with the albums. The first album from Fiddlehead that you're gonna have to check out is their 2021 release, Between the Richness. I'll be real with y'all, I fucking adore this album. It is such a perfect slice of music with connecting themes both in the vocals and instrumentals, along with a litany of killer riffs and catchy hooks. One of the first ear catchers will probably be Million Times. Their use of hardcore with a pop mindset will become apparent almost instantaneously, as the riffs are more melodic than they are heavy, becoming ear candy to anybody who's willing to listen. The lyrics bring up the hardships of not only achieving love, but also maintaining that love for years to come. I'm very confident that you'll be rocking along to Million Times, but if that doesn't really tickle your fancy, then maybe a song like Eternal You will scratch your itch. With a hook that can be heard for miles, this cut packs a major punch in its drums that refuse to hold back, showing off why these aging hardcore vets are still in the game. This is yet another song with outstanding lyrics that still finds a way to up the ante with the track's closing remarks, which basically are all about singer Pat Flynn's excitement to watch his children grow up and see the friendships that they cultivate, as this song is all about Pat's best friend himself and their relationship that they have built for years. Eventually, you'll make your way to the song Down University, a supposedly depressing little number that surprisingly lifts you up. Featuring what I can only describe as a cheer section after the hook, this is a rip-roaring good time. Basically saying, fuck the predisposed notion that you have to go to college, this cut can translate to nearly anyone, as it acts as almost more of a confidence booster than anything else. Before we move on to the next record, I would like to take some time to talk about Get My Mind Right. A culmination of this album's central themes, this song is all about, well, getting your mind right. Of course, a straight edge outfit like this would have a song along those lines, but with Get My Mind Right, Fiddlehead hit the nail on the head. At the end of the day, this is a hardcore banger with a message that will ring true to the masses. Between the Richness is a cohesive collection of songs that can be enjoyed by the hardest of moshers and the shyest of arm crossers. Honestly, if you can't get into this record, then Fiddlehead might not be the band for you. However, that's not to say that you should stop at Between the Richness. Also, make sure to check out the band's latest release, 2023's Death Is Nothing to Us. This bitchin' LP dropped like 2 weeks ago as of this recording, but I can already tell you right now that this thing is a freaking beast. Kicking off this album is the blistering cut, The Death Life, which is a damn quarter-mile sprint for these guys. Roaring from the get-go, you'll find out very quickly that you're in for a roller coaster of a record. The next track, Sleepyhead, is a bit more, well, sleepy, but that doesn't mean it won't hit hard. Lyrically, this is a bit of a depressing piece, talking all about lying in bed and rotting away because of the troubles in your life. Just as most Fiddlehead tracks are, Sleepyhead is upfront and brutally honest about mental health and the struggles that Flynn faces. Eventually, we make our way to what I find to be the crowning jewel of this LP, Sullen Boy. This is legit one of the greatest post-hardcore songs of all time, between the pensive, ticking time bomb instrumental and the undeniably infectious hook. The performances across the board are absolutely electric, specifically Flynn's violent yet measured outbursts singing about how he will fight for his children's future until the day he dies. If you really dig the sounds of Between the Richness, then Sullen Boy will be the song for you. Finally, I'd like to talk about the song Queen of Limerick. A bit of a laid-back cut, the band uses their powerful playing habits to take center stage, as the song isn't necessarily played fast, but instead played heavy heavy as hell. It's a little on the weirder side when put up against the other songs that I've talked about thus far, but that is not a bad thing, as it is nice to see them flex their creative muscle. Once again, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it is an intriguing, compelling, and strongly written track through and through. While all of us Fiddlehead vets need some time to process this record, this is the perfect opportunity for you to not only listen to this album, but also this band in general. Do not skip out on Death Is Nothing to Us. And that is going to do it for the albums, but don't you fret, we still have some tracks to talk about. The first Fiddlehead track to spin should be Witch-Hazel Bloom from their 2015 EP, Out of the Bloom. This is one of the earliest tracks to drop in Fiddlehead's discography, as this is the closing track to their debut EP. I'll be upfront, I do not think this is their best work. I think they do a better job being concise and more direct later in their career, as Witch-Hazel Bloom has a tendency to waver. What it does have in its corner is a dynamic and powerful instrumental backing, even if the mixing does them no favors. While I think this is still a necessary listen, I do find it to be a slight hurdle as well. If you end up giving it a shot, I would love to hear your opinions in the comment section below. Next up, you should absolutely listen to the song Lay Low, which comes from their debut LP, 2018 Springtime and Blind. Without a doubt, one of their most accessible early tunes, this is just a goddamn solid track. They don't break the mold on Lay Low, but rather allow the formula to conjure up a perfect version of itself. After a listen or two, it's very hard to not get caught up in the moment and start belting out this earth-shaking hook. It's punk to its core, but it's also not afraid to be a jangly, heavy indie rock cut. This is one of the most quintessential Fiddlehead tracks, so you'd be actively hurting yourself by avoiding this song. Finally, for the last track, I'm actually going to do something here that I've never really done before. I believe they have an Audio Tree live session coming out rather soon, and usually that's what I would use in this section right here to promote a live song, but since that isn't out yet, we're going to try something different. And while you wait for that live record to drop, you should absolutely take this time to watch their 2023 FYA Fest filmed by Hate56. An utter infectious, spellbinding performance, Pat and the boys come out swinging for the fences and hit a fucking home run. Filled with the hits, many of which were already discussed in this video, along with some invigorating Pat Flynn speeches, this is an absolute must-listen of a concert. Having Hate56 film your set typically sets the bar pretty high, and these performances deliver in droves. I wish that Fiddlehead had more music out right now, but this is basically the extent of their discography thus far, so this is what we're working with. Just be sure to check out that 2023 FYA set, because I know it is not going to be a waste of your time. And that is going to conclude my video covering Fiddlehead. Links to all the albums and tracks discussed here will be located in the video description box below. Scroll down even further to the comments section where you can let me know if you liked any of the albums or tracks that I picked here. If you're a huge Fiddlehead fan and you think that I completely butchered this list, go to the comments and let me know. I got some thick skin. I'm not too concerned about it. You can also suggest any artists you'd like to see covered on this show. Just know that I do have a bit of a backlog built up, so if I don't get to it right away, it's nothing personal. I'm probably working on it. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this every single week, along with shows like Stacks of Wax, Where It's At, The Variety Show. I just keep on making fucking content, and that train is not slowing down. By subscribing, not only will you be helping me out, but you will also be the first to know when new videos drop. Also, I rarely bring this up, but you should follow my Instagram, Forever Spinning Grails, because I'm actually pretty active on there, and it is a good time. That is all that I'm going to say this episode, outside, of course, from my usual reminder for you to go out and support your local record store if you are able to, along with the local artists in your area. And, well, until I see you next time, happy listening.